All right, so are you ready to like dive deep into this Huawei Mate 70 series?
Oh, yeah.
We've got a ton of stuff to go over, reviews, articles, even some pretty hot takes from social media.
Oh, wow.
Everyone wants to know what the fuss is about, and we're here to break it down.
Yeah.
This is not just another phone launch.
No.
Huawei's really shaking things up with this one.
Absolutely.
They've gone all in on using their own technology.
Yeah.
No U.S. components or software anywhere.
Wow.
Plus, there's this whole mystery surrounding the Kirin 9100 chip.
Right.
And then there's HarmonyOS Next,
Oh, yeah.
their answer to Android.
Interesting.
And don't even get me started on the camera.
Oh, really?
Let's just say
Yeah.
they're really pushing the limits of what a smartphone camera can do.
I've heard some things about that.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So are you ready to get into it?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go.
The Mate 70 series is a pretty bold statement for Huawei
Yeah.
to just cut ties with U.S. tech completely.
Right. What do you think this means for, like, the future of the entire tech world?
Yeah.
I mean, just a few years ago, they were the biggest phone seller in the world.
Right.
And then those U.S. sanctions hit.
Yeah, those sanctions definitely changed things.
Totally.
It forced Huawei to become self-reliant,
Mm-hmm.
and this Mate 70 series is like the culmination of all that work.
Yeah.
It could be a huge turning point for the whole industry.
Okay, so let's say you're holding this Mate 70 in your hand.
Yeah, okay.
What's the first thing you notice?
Well, the design is really eye-catching.
Okay.
There are some options with the series.
Oh, cool.
The standard Mate 70 has a flat frame and display,
Hmm.
but the Pro and the Pro Plus models have these quad curve displays.
Wow.
And all of them have that camera island on the back with that circular ring around it.
Yeah, I've seen that in pictures.
Yeah, it definitely grabs your attention.
I bet it does.
Yeah.
So what about durability?
Oh, yeah.
Is this thing tough enough to survive, like, everyday life?
This phone is built to last. We're talking IP69 water and dust resistance.
Oh.
So, like, imagine you're out hiking,
Mm-hmm.
caught in a downpour.
Oh, no.
Your phone takes a tumble.
That's like my worst nightmare.
Right. But with this phone, you just brush it off and keep going.
Nice.
No worries.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
What about the display?
The display.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Right.
Pure OLED.
Nice.
Super sharp and vibrant.
Cool.
The base model has a 6.7-inch screen,
Mm-hmm.
and the Pro models bump that up to 6.9 inches.
Whoa, that's big.
Yeah, and it has an adaptive refresh rate up to 120 hertz.
So that means, like,
That means everything is incredibly smooth.
super responsive.
Yeah, scrolling, animations, everything.
Nice.
Very responsive.
Now, can you actually see the screen in sunlight, though?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
It has a peak brightness of 2,500 nits.
Wow.
That's brighter than most laptops.
Really?
So picture yourself at the beach,
Okay.
trying to read something on your phone.
Ugh, yeah. Usually I can't even see anything.
You won't have that problem with the Mate 70.
So I can actually read my book at the beach.
Crystal clear, even in the brightest sun.
Okay, I'm sold.
Yeah.
What about battery life?
Oh, battery life is great.
Okay, good, because that's like a deal breaker for me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. The Mate 70 has a 5,300 mAh battery,
Okay.
which is pretty big,
Yeah.
and it charges really fast, too.
Oh, nice.
66W wired and 50W wireless.
Wow.
But the Pro models go even further.
Wait, really? How is that even possible?
They have a 5,500 mAh battery
Okay.
and 100W wired charging.
So you could charge your phone in like minutes.
Yeah, basically.
That's insane.
It's super fast.
I guess you wouldn't have to worry about battery anxiety with this phone.
No, not at all.
Okay, so what about storage and memory?
Plenty of options there, too.
Okay.
It starts at 12 GBs of RAM and 256 GB of storage and
Mm.
goes all the way up to 1 TB.
Wow.
And the Pro Plus even have a 16 GB RAM option
Sheesh.
for the ultimate power users.
So this phone can handle like anything you throw at it.
Oh, yeah, it's a beast.
Speaking of beasts,
Yeah.
I know you want to talk about this Kirin 9100 chip,
Oh, yeah,
the heart of the Mate 70.
absolutely.
What can you tell us about it?
Well, it's kind of a mystery.
Really?
Yeah, Huawei hasn't released all the specs,
Interesting.
so there's a lot of speculation.
Ooh, I love a good tech mystery.
I know, right?
So what are people saying?
Well, the main theory is that it's manufactured by SEC
Yeah.
using a 6mm process.
Which is interesting because like everyone else is going for those 3nm chips.
Right, exactly. But it's not all about the size of the transistors, you know?
True.
The architecture of the Kirin 9100 is fascinating.
What do you mean?
Well, it's an ARM design
Okay.
with a mix of Cortex X1, A78, and A55 cores.
So what does that mean for performance?
It means that it should be powerful and efficient.
So they're showing that you don't need the absolute latest tech to make a powerful chip.
Yeah, they're innovating in different ways.
Okay, so it's powerful. It's got an incredible display, massive battery.
Absolutely.
But what about the software?
Oh, the software.
Yeah, this is where HarmonyOS Next comes in.
That's right.
I know you're excited about this.
I am very excited about this.
So tell me, what is it?
This is a huge step for Huawei.
Okay.
This isn't just an update. This is a completely independent operating system.
Wow.
Built from the ground up by them.
So they've completely cut ties with Android.
Yeah, completely.
Wow.
The earlier versions of HarmonyOS were based on open source Android code.
Okay.
But this is different.
This is like their own thing.
Totally different.
Wow.
They say they already have 15,000 native apps.
That's a good start.
It is.
But can they really compete with the number of apps on Android?
That's the big question.
Yeah, I mean, the app ecosystem is so important.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's a huge challenge to build a whole new app ecosystem.
Yeah.
But Huawei seems committed.
Okay.
They want to reach 100,000 native apps in the next year.
Wow, that's ambitious.
It's very ambitious.
It's like they're building a whole new world.
They kind of are.
Yeah, separate from the one we know. So tell me, what's it like to actually use HarmonyOS Next?
Well, early reports say it's a visually appealing OS.
Okay.
But there are still some gaps in functionality compared to Android.
So there's a learning curve.
There is a bit of a learning curve,
Okay.
but they are working on it.
So it's promising.
Yes, very promising.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about something that always gets people excited.
Oh, yeah,
The camera.
the camera.
This Mate 70 series supposedly has some really impressive capabilities.
Oh, yeah. The camera system on these phones is incredible.
Okay.
Let's focus on the Pro and Pro Plus models.
Okay.
They have a triple camera setup
Okay.
with an extra sensor for even better performance.
So 3 cameras.
Yep.
What makes them so special?
Well, the star of the show is the main camera.
Okay.
It's a 50-megapixel lens
Wow.
with a variable aperture that ranges from f1.4 to f4.0.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Variable aperture.
that's right.
What does that even mean?
Well, think of it like the pupil in your eye.
Okay.
It adjusts to let in more or less light.
Right.
With a variable aperture, you can do the same thing with the camera lens.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you want that blurry background. Open it up to f1.4.
Okay.
Need more detail.
Yeah.
Close it down to f4.0.
So I have way more control.
Tons of creative freedom.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned an extra sensor?
Oh, yeah.
What's that all about?
This is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
The Pro has a standard RGB sensor,
Okay.
but the Pro Plus has an RYYB sensor.
RYB. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Didn't they use that in the P30 Pro?
Yeah, that's the one.
The phone that blew everyone away with its low light performance.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
The RYYB sensor is known for its low light capabilities and better colors.
So they're really pushing the limits here.
Oh, yeah.
This is like a dream for photographers.
Absolutely.
Wow, amazing.
And we haven't even talked about the other lenses or the AI features.
Or the video.
Or the video, yeah.
This camera is incredible.
It's a beast.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. You know, it's not just about the hardware with Huawei. It's like they're trying to build this whole ecosystem with this HarmonyOS Next. It's like they want to create something totally new.
Yeah.
Not just replace Android, but set a new standard.
That's a pretty big goal.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, are they really suggesting they can create something better than what we already have?
It seems like it.
Wow.
They're really going all out to attract developers,
How so?
offering all sorts of incentives for them to create apps for HarmonyOS Next.
Oh, wow.
It seems like they understand that
Yeah.
a strong app ecosystem is key.
For sure.
Yeah, if they want to succeed.
So they're building a new world.
It's pretty wild.
It really is.
Their own app store, their own operating system, their own hardware.
It's huge.
It's a massive undertaking.
It makes you wonder if they can really pull this off.
It really does.
Yeah.
It shows how much the tech world is changing.
How so?
This rivalry between the US and China
Right.
is forcing companies to think differently, to become more self-reliant.
Okay.
And Huawei's right at the forefront of that movement.
So we're not just talking about a new phone here.
No.
We're talking about like a power shift in the tech world.
Exactly.
Oh,
it's a big moment.
Totally.
It'll be really interesting to see how other companies react.
Do you think they'll follow Huawei's lead?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Will they try to become more independent or stick with their current alliances?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to that Kirin 9100 chip for a second.
Okay.
Even though it's not built on that 3 nanometer process,
Yeah.
there's still a lot of talk about its performance especially with that hyper-threading technology.
Right.
Can you explain that for me?
Sure.
Like, what does that actually mean for everyday use?
Okay, so imagine each core of the processor as a super efficient worker.
Okay.
Hyper-threading lets each worker handle multiple tasks at the same time.
So it's like having a team of multitasking ninjas inside your phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, that's awesome.
It means smoother multitasking, apps loading faster.
Yeah.
No more lag when you're switching between things.
So even though it's not the most cutting-edge process,
Right.
the design of the Kirin 9100 could mean it actually performs just as well.
Potentially even better than some of its rivals.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So it's not just about raw power.
No.
It's about using that power efficiently.
Exactly.
Okay.
Huawei's showing that you can compensate for limitations with clever design.
Okay, so they got the tech down.
Yeah.
But what about global availability?
All right.
I mean, this phone is doing great in China, but what about the rest of the world?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
There are a few key challenges.
Okay, what are they?
First, you've got those U.S. sanctions. Right.
Which have limited their access to a lot of essential components.
Okay.
The biggest one being Google's Android operating system.
Right.
And all the apps that come with it.
Yeah, you can't really have a smartphone these days without access to those Google apps.
It's a huge hurdle for them.
Definitely.
And while they're working on building up their own app ecosystem,
yeah,
with HarmonyOS Next,
yeah,
it's going to take a lot of time and resources.
It's like they're saying, hey, come move to this new city.
Right.
But there are no shops.
Exactly.
No restaurants.
Yeah.
And no one else lives there yet.
It's a great analogy.
It's true.
HarmonyOS Next has so much potential, but it's still really early.
Okay.
They need to show people that it can be just as good as Android.
Okay.
If not better.
Right. And it's not just about the functionality.
It's also about perception.
Totally.
People are used to Android.
They're comfortable with it.
They're comfortable with it.
Yeah. Huawei needs to convey to people that HarmonyOS Next isn't a compromise,
right,
but a real alternative.
But it's possible, right?
It's not impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Apple.
Right.
They built their own successful ecosystem with iOS.
And they don't use any Google services at all.
Exactly.
That's true.
So it can be done.
So how can Huawei make this happen?
I think they need to play to their strengths.
Like what?
Their reputation for making great hardware.
Yeah, they're known for that.
And their brand recognition. They need to find their own space in the market.
They've definitely shown they're not afraid of a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Over the past few years, they faced some serious obstacles.
For sure.
But they always come out fighting.
Yeah, it's like they thrive on proving people wrong.
Totally.
They're a really resilient company.
Yeah.
And incredibly innovative. This Mate 70 series is a statement.
What kind of statement?
They're not going anywhere.
Okay.
They're here to stay, and they're going to shake things up.
It's a real David and Goliath story.
It is.
Yeah, the whole world is watching.
Absolutely.
So with all those challenges, do you think Huawei can actually bring this Mate 70 series to a global audience?
It's tough to say.
Yeah.
It's an uphill battle for sure. But if any company can do it, it just might be Huawei.
What makes you say that?
They have the talent, the resources, and the determination
That's true.
to make it happen.
So we'll see.
We'll see how it all plays out.
I think a little competition is good for the smartphone market.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, keeps things interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it forces companies to innovate.
And ultimately benefits us, the consumers.
Speaking of consumers,
let's
bring this back to them for a second.
Okay.
We've talked about all this impressive tech,
Right.
innovative design, and ambitious software. But what about the actual experience?
Yeah.
What's it like to use this phone every day?
Well, early reviews suggest the Mate 70 series offers a really premium user experience.
So we've talked about all the Mate 70s, like impressive tech and innovative design and ambitious software. But what does it all mean for real-world use? What's it actually like to have this thing in your hand and use it every single day?
Well, early reviews suggest the Mate 70 series delivers a really premium user experience.
Okay.
The hardware is top-notch, the display is gorgeous, and the performance is incredibly smooth.
Okay. But what about HarmonyOS Next?
Right.
Is it actually a viable alternative to Android?
That's where things get interesting.
Okay.
It's definitely a work in progress.
Okay.
And there are some limitations compared to Android, especially when it comes to app availability. But it's also a surprisingly polished operating system with some unique features.
So you're saying it has potential, but it needs some time to mature.
Exactly. Like a budding flower.
Oh, I like that.
It's beautiful and full of promise, but it needs the right conditions to fully blossom.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Thanks.
So let's say you're thinking about buying a Mate 70. What are the key takeaways?
Well, first of all, it's a statement piece.
Okay.
It represents Huawei's big move towards independence. It's a challenge to the status quo, a sign that the tech world is changing.
Like they're saying, we're not playing by your rules anymore.
Exactly.
I think.
And secondly, the Mate 70 series is a testament to Huawei's innovation.
Yeah.
They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with smartphone hardware.
Especially that camera system.
Oh, yeah, the camera is amazing.
And we can't forget about the Kirin 9100 chip either.
Right.
It shows that you don't always need the most advanced tech to create something amazing.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's about clever design and thinking outside the box.
Exactly.
And lastly, I think the Mate 70 series is a symbol of resilience. Huawei has faced some serious challenges, but they haven't given up.
Nope.
They're still innovating and pushing forward and creating some remarkable products.
They are.
It's a pretty inspiring story.
It is.
Makes you wonder what the future holds for Huawei.
Yeah.
And the tech world in general.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, we're witnessing a huge moment in tech history.
We are.
The Mate 70 series is like a glimpse into the future. A future where the landscape could look very different.
Yeah.
More competition, more innovation, and more choices for consumers.
That'd be great.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Huawei Mate 70 series,
Okay.
I want to leave you with this thought.
All right.
Imagine a world where your smartphone experience isn't limited to just a few big companies.
Okay.
Imagine a world where multiple ecosystems thrive, and each one offers its own unique strengths.
Yeah.
Could the Mate 70, with its bold vision and cutting-edge technology, be the start of that change? That's something for you to think about, to explore, to imagine.
Good question.
The future of technology is unfolding right in front of us, and it's going to be an incredible journey.
I'm excited to see what happens.
Me too. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive depth.
If this tech tutorial was helpful, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. For more detail, you can visit our blog website www.evergreentechtips.com.